G'day friends, fans, air conditioners and other cool units. Welcome to Tabletop News. I'm your host, the author, David Applegate, author of the books The Boyhood Arcade, Power Games, Into the Earthbound, and The Erotic Tales from the Empire. Part 1 available now. All available on Amazon. All my links are in the link tree. Thank you to all those who support the channel. I really appreciate it. And invite you to support the channel. You can support the channel through Patreon, buy my books, buy my merch. My favourite site, not sponsored by the way, and pretty much haven't heard much from the Bundle of Holding. I actually think they've stopped a long time ago responding to anybody on Twitter. I think that's them, right? You know, and pretty much if you make any queries, they direct you to their FAQ. Contact mailing list, same thing. I don't think they're interested in any inquiries, so, it doesn't matter. It's not like really need some upcoming news for you. I mean, they give you plenty of time to decide whether or not you want to buy a bundle. And I think it's a done deal if you're in role-playing that the best way to get your favourite games is through a bundle. Okay, digital only, I know. A lot of purists out there love their books. As a guy who used to haul around, I think I had over 30 D&D books. I had also, on top of that, I had a dozen different box sets. I had Castles, I had Forgotten Realms. Those are the two I can remember. I really look forward to Castles. I never assembled it. I just loved having it. But when releases, D&D, what killed D&D for me was the monthly releases. Because, believe it or not, folks, I did have a job once, and I've pretty much earned minimum wage for most of my career. I bounced jobs until I was non-employable. So here I am in my 50s, having only earned minimum wage in my life, but done a lot of different jobs. And you think I'd have a massive collection to look back on. Unfortunately, no, moving around a lot and having unfortunate incidences. I found, that particularly in a small place, having a large book collection is problematic. So that's what got me on the Bundle of Holding. Now, I followed Green Ronin on Twitter for a while. It's not like they know me. I think they've retweeted me once. I don't think they really know me, but that doesn't matter. This is one of the bundles I would highly recommend everybody getting. The Expanse in the Modern Age, I think, is very good. I know a lot of people do not like modern or fantasy or science fiction. I reckon this is a huge and brilliant adaptation of The Expanse. And it brings to life diplomacy, danger, and discovery in the solar system. This is a bargain price revival of a 2020 bundle, which I have. Now, $70.95 gets you the 6 titles in the revised offers modern collection, all DRM free. Now, if you pay the threshold price of $33.63, you level up and get the entire Expanse collection with 5 more titles. This comes with the Modern Collection. Alright, so I'm sorry, the basic collection is, they call it the Modern Collection, the Modern Age. Leap into action from the Industrial Revolution to the modern day and beyond in the modern age. Role-playing, let's just suit your style, gritty techno fillers, two-fisted pulp adventure, martial arts duels, horror, urban fantasy, or a dystopian future. Set around action, exploration, and stunts. Rolls doubles on 3-sided dice and something cool happens. You've got 20 levels of advancement, character class systems, optional rules for psychics and arcane powers. So you can go from science fiction to science fantasy with this rule set. Now the Modern Age Compendium makes Modern Age your own. We have jewels, superpowers, gadgets, conspiracies, adds various other elements to your character, build your own stunts, which is just basically a fancy way of saying, hey, we're giving you more rules so you can tailor the game the way you want. And threefold, the planes of known existence, alternative Earths, other worlds, enemies and allies, basically give you campaigns, more characters, missions, the Wallflower, swords, drugs, alchemy, unlock the secrets of the Wallflowers, basically missions. And adventures for characters 1 to 4. And of course, Game Master's Kit accessories to keep the game rolling. Haha, pun intended, obviously. Alright, so level up, which I recommend you do. You'll get the science fiction role-playing game at Humanity's Edge, The Expanse, based on the popular series, long before it actually became a popular TV show. It was actually a popular book before it became a popular TV show. And actually, this brought the series to life in a tabletop game before it went to TV. There's older alien forces stirring, human about unexpected turn, fast stunt-powered age system, yeah. Which, didn't I recently do something that Ronan was overhauling this? Probably I did. So, if you keep an eye out for, if you have this already or get it, keep an eye out for updates. Remember, this is linked to your Drive-Thru RPG account, so keep an eye out for updates. But I'm not promising anything because, again, like I said, I don't get insider information. Yeah, I wish I did, though I think for various reasons, until the audience decides to popularize my channel, nobody wants to talk to me about upcoming releases. I have to find. So, Expanse is vast, and your ship is your home and a source of income, but it's your responsibility, which also means debt. You're a potential target from various threats, and you have various ships. And it also expands on the role-playing system. And this Game Master's Kit expands on the rules again. Everything at your fingertips. Another couple of adventures. Yeah, salvage. Yeah, you find ships to salvage. What's the difference between a pirate and a salvage operator? The condition of the ship it was found in. Well, we found the ship adrift. Yeah. So that's the Expanse and Modern Age. Age being the modern / sci-fi tabletop role-playing system from Green Ronin. Now, this is a revived system, just come alive. Now, most of the previous, of course, every week a new one comes out, and usually every week a new system comes out, new bundle comes out, and a old bundle will go. Now, this week, more bundles left than came. That happens. Normally, it's around 4 to 5. It's just that GURPS was big, and that was because previous releases were also big. We had a few mega packs. Technically, this is close to what I would consider a mega pack. Now, lately, I've seen a lot of, ultimate dungeons come out. Most of them actually haven't made their way to Bundle of Holding. And, alright. I like one or two, but I haven't covered any of the new Mega dungeons because I don't like them, and I'm sorry if I only present things that I like, but to sit down for half an hour just with a Mega dungeon, because it's like all these different sections, and it's like, oh, it's the biggest ever, and then the next week there's another one, and it's twice as big, And trying to grow the channel, one thing I've noticed is I stalled when I only focused on the Bundle of Holding. I've been stalled for a long time on growth, trying to get people to share, trying to get people to join my Patreon. Mega Bundle, I don't think, however, this is one of these boring mega dungeons. I actually think this is actually very cool and well priced. Now, yes, it's based on the Bible, and that might upset people considering what the holier than thou Bible bashers, not talking about Christians here, I'm talking about the people who want to ram the Bible down your throat every 5 seconds, compare everything you do to the Bible. This is not just a mega dungeon. This is an entire setting based on what you could probably say Dante's Guide to Hell is a mega dungeon. And you have the Apocalypse, John's Guide to the Armageddon. The end is finally here. Now, whether you're religious or not, it still makes for a good setting. And I think the 9 Circles of Hell make for, there you go, Dante's Guide to Hell, a brilliant mega dungeon. And it's well priced. For $19.95. Remember, and actually, if you look at the retail on this alone, each is very well priced for what essentially is a mega dungeon. But I believe you could take it as an entire setting for hell. Of course, I think that was the original intent of Apocalypse, to be a campaign setting. But it's a campaign set in the end times. But you can make this an entire setting. The Infernal War, which is actually something I was intending to do, the Infernal War. Unfortunately, sometimes, I was working up to something like this. Because it's such a brilliant setting, it makes it hard to say, wow, it's like, we're having both envy that somebody, I had an idea and somebody's beat me to it, and it's been out for a while now, Because the first time I saw it was a couple of weeks ago in the notification emails of upcoming, which you remember you get notifications of upcoming bundles when you subscribe. But the final war, who will get the throne, the survivors chapter, it's got many components, monsters, the art. And if you haven't figured out, St. John is the accredited author of Revelations, whereas we know for certain that Dante wrote The Guide to Hell based on a Roman interpretation of hell by Virgil, a well-known Roman poet. Now, you play a lost one. It's a living being who has been forced to enter hell. It's not that you're an absolute sinner. It's more that you don't meet the criteria for heaven, and the only other option is hell. You've lost your way for some reason. And this is basically a brilliant mega dungeon for fantasy, urban, modern, any setting could turn hell into a mega dungeon. And not only is it a cheap mega dungeon, which doesn't, I'm not saying cheap in a derogative term here, I'm saying a well-priced, I should say, mega dungeon. Because I find most mega dungeons like somebody's taken 50 dungeons from other sources and meshed them. You know what I mean? And they're charging you the price of, 20, 40, 50, and I'm talking US dollars. And like I was saying, well, it's one of the things that turned me off D&D is that the prices were going up faster than my income. And that's why when digital, long ago, when I lost my books, I went digital. I was a advanced D&D player, and then second edition. And then as I got older, there were a lot of people playing D&D third edition, or did, or fourth, or fifth. But this, I think, these two are absolute. This is an amazing, and so is this. You would get probably at least a year out of this if you treated it as a mega dungeon. And I learned something recently in one of the books on D&D and why the level cap is so low. Is they stretched out, made it harder and harder to go. They basically, if you've seen the D&D progression table, you realise compared to most games, most people would never reach, 20th level. Well, that was all done on purpose. They basically, when they were designing D&D, they had their fun around 10th level, and they had their fun building up characters too. So they made it so that a couple of level 20 characters could exist. But for the most part, if you've noticed, everything is 1 to 10, almost. And again, that's because it was designed not for as regular play. It wasn't designed for the corporate treadmill of new content every month. Which, by the way, all these, if you haven't really made the connection, live service video games got their inspiration from Hasbro and D&D, how they treated D&D. But already before D&D was taken over by Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast turned it into a live service game where they would constantly bring out, where they trimmed the number of franchises and basically turned it into, and the amount of fan material is phenomenal. That you could probably go a lifetime of campaigning in one particular era of D&D with all the fan material out there and not get through it all, you know? And this, I think, would make an excellent mega dungeon. Now this, I think it's pretty niche, but for $7.95, there's a beautiful weekend or two where you could use this as a side quest or a break from fighting. But a sports Fight with Spirit is a sports drama. One price gets you the rulebook. That's all you need. So that's all for Bundle of Holding today. And yeah, it may sound like I'm dragging things out for time. This is all brought to you by my own science fantasy setting. But you don't have to join to just because it's tabletop. You want to support the channel, just join. You know, you get free maps, get all the notifications, new battle maps every month. And if you want, you can help support, create artwork for my, which is what I do. I don't have the talent, and I commission art for my RPG. Our best-selling, right now, Daggerheart, the core rulebook, is the best-selling core rulebook out there. Now, we don't get numbers, but this was released on the 21st of the 5th this year. It's a heroic fantasy tabletop role-playing game. Uses a card system. Has subclasses. So you have domains, classes, ancestries, communities, abilities, and of course cards for tabletop use. One of the problems with popular best-selling material is you're probably not going to see it for a while on Bundle of Holding, because they're going to milk it for what it's worth at full retail. But still, this is a handcrafted book by a team, of course, over at Darlington Press. As you can see, there's a bundle which you can get with this. Most people buy the bundle, but it's currently on special. It gives you the core rulebook for Daggerheart and Nexus, but for some reason, it's not a bestseller. Yet released at the same time. So I know tabletop has taken a hit over the years, but there's some amazing stuff still being produced. I'm not going to criticize the cost of some of them, because I know personally, like, the dedication and time that artists put into some of the crafting, just some of the backgrounds, some of the detail that go in. This isn't a criticism, but a lot of artists just don't make a living being an artist. They will produce this material, and they're commissioned, for work on multiple projects. And you see, there's a lot of input into these. Something that I personally, individually, do not have the financial backing or resources to produce material at this level. But I'm not envious of Onks or any other small publisher who becomes successful on DriveThruRPG. It's well deserved. So I won't criticize the price, even though I can't afford it. I'm just saying, that popular material, one of the reasons why I'm just saying the contrast between the two sites is this knows, when something's coming to an end of its life, or a former or successful Kickstarter, I should say, because the popularity of some systems is just too great to overcome. I get that. Now, one system I've seen and supported was Mork Borg. You might remember it was a featured bundle of holding and a revived bundle of holding that I've covered, and an expansion that I've covered. So when I saw this, I thought, I'll have a quick look at it, and it looks brilliant with the quirky art style that fits with the tone of Mork Borg. If you don't know, it's horror. This time they said to be working with Skeleton Key Games to bring Morecambe Asylum to life. It's a location sourcebook, a weird fantasy madhouse set in the outskirts of the disabling city of Wolfenbeck. Now, the first rule was have fun. I thought it was going to be weirdness, but yeah. And there are all sorts of inmates at the asylum. It has an adventure and encounter set for the setting. Pardon me. And yeah, this is a collaboration. Yeah, since more Kickstarter. Yeah. Try Pirate Borg and Cyborg and that. Yeah, that's one that I covered. Yeah, and you can follow it on Kickstarter, which I forgot to, which I'll include in. Here we go. As you can see, there's a lot, because, yeah. Yeah. Created is what you need. Backed a lot of projects. Created a lot. Deck of old school encounters. A whole lot of stuff there. Oh. Has it updated his Kickstarter yet? Right, because he doesn't have he doesn't have a website yet. Go here, so follow you. So, Welcome Asylum hasn't been listed yet by looks of it. I thought it was. It implied that he had. He's announced that it's coming. That he's putting the finishing touch to a number of collaborative projects. Well, that's all we have for today. If you've got any hints, tips, etc., contact me on social media. All my links are in the link tree. You can support the channel in a variety of ways. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please support me on Patreon. I have two, one for my writing and an RPG based on my writing. And of course, buy my books, buy my merch. All my links and social media are in my link tree, which you can find in the description below, in my profile, or scan the QR code on the screen. Please and thank you. Apologise if I dragged this out. There wasn't much this week. There's some weeks there's going to be a pile, depends. But remember, you're not obligated, but there's a lot, please support the channel and get the word out there, please. Thank you. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.